Yes, hello everyone, welcome to The Last Word, welcome to St James's Park, welcome to a very happy last word where Newcastle United have beaten Benfica by 3-0. We'll hear from Eddie Howe very shortly, but let's get going. Newcastle have beaten Benfica 3-0, which we will try and dissect. Now obviously this is raw, I've only just come out the stadium, I've done the match reaction, I haven't seen any of the replays back, and this is the beauty about it. I could look like an idiot, I look like a genius if I get some of the stuff right what I'm about to say, but I live by the sword, you die by the sword. But we are proudly sponsored by Ballybet. Now Ballybet, if you bet £10, you will get £20 in free bets. Now obviously with Fulham coming to St James's Park and Newcastle bouncing off a 3-0 win, this might be the perfect opportunity for you to have a little flutter in a fantastic offer thanks to Ballybet, who are sponsoring us today. There's a QR code on your screen, there's a link in the description and in the pinned comment, so get yourselves involved. You bet £10, you get 20 quid free. Make sure you have a little gamble on Fulham. Now please gamble responsibly and over 18s only. Right then, so talk of the tune was who was going to play this evening against Benfica, because we heard that Anatoliy wasn't in training yesterday. He's been ill. Joe Linton was struggling a little bit down in Brighton, and the form of Anthony Langa, and all three dropped to the bench, and they were replaced by Louis Miley, and they were replaced by who else played in midfield? Ramsey, come on Lee, and I'm just happy, and Jacob Murphy, and the rest of the back line were the same, Nick Valdemada and so on. And obviously, would there be any rotation involved on Saturday? Would there be any tonight? Because Benfica, let's be honest, it's not the same Benfica of the last 4 or 5 years. Despite them, I think they're unbeaten in the Premier Liga. But those were the changes, and I have to say that I have to agree, because Alanga was awful at Brighton, and he was hooked off at half time, and Murphy and the other two obviously are just precautionary. I think Tonali wasn't used which is good. The game was already won, so there's no need to bring him on by the second goal went in, to be honest, and he'll be should be fine for the weekend against Fulham. But obviously Benfica, I know I don't watch much Portuguese football, but I'm trying to think of players. Of obviously they've got Antonio Silva as a very talented centre back. Who else? They've got Otamendi, who's been at Man City. They've got Pavlovidas, who plays up front. He caused England problems. The Norwegian winger, I can never pronounce his name, Schneiderlip. He's decent as well. But St James's Park, obviously the noise was great. We kicked off, and it was our first half. It was a difficult one to judge, because the first 10 minutes or so we were Aries, we were playing the ball around. You could see that Benfica were shaping up quite defensive, which a lot of everybody was saying in the media and the pundits and what have you were predicting that park the bus. It wasn't quite park the bus, but it was defensive. And to be fair to Benfica, they tested us on the counter quite a few times. I think their winger, and I've butchered his name in the match reaction, but he was really lively. He was testing Dan Burn. He obviously had a shot really early on. He had a curler and had a perfect angle on the Gallo. It was curling. It was like, oof, hit the post. That was a great effort. Palvidos, the Greek international, he had one shoot wide, and they were creating chances. We had to be wary because we needed the goal, and obviously it came, and it was great. It was a great counter-attacking goal. Again, I haven't seen any of the goals back, so I just remember the ball was played. Fantastic through ball to the right-hand side, cut across. It's at the other end of the Lisa, so again, I've only had one look at it. And there's Anthony Gordon to finish, and he's now got 4 Champions League goals in 3 games. That's pretty impressive. Yes, I know 2 of them were penalties, but you've got to step up and take those penalties. So that's his 4th in the Champions League. Newcastle are 1-0 up. And at half time, I'm thinking to myself, we need that second goal, because if Benfica come out and play like that second half, they will score. I don't know what was said in either dressing room, of course not. But for me, they took the foot off the gas a little bit, and we went up another level or 2. So maybe it's a mixture of both. But the intensity, the drive, creating chances, Newcastle were breathtaking second half. They were sensational second half, in particular Anthony Gordon, which I want to come on to players a little bit later. You're waiting for that second goal because Lewis Miley had the free header, and heading's not his strongest strength, and he headed over the bar, and I'm not going to go all the way through the chances because there was loads second half. I missed a ton out, so I didn't really want to do that. But when obviously we're seeing a double change as well. When that second goal came, And you've got to give credit to Nick Pope, because that throw is just sensational. Throws a spatula arm over halfway line. It just got Newcastle on the counter. And maybe that's something the likes of Adam Bartlett can look at and help and teach. And maybe that's where he could instead, if he can pick the ball up and throw it instead of kicking. Now, naturally, he's not the greatest kicker, and sometimes players will pass the ball back and he can't pick it up. But if there's times where he can throw it, that could be a weapon. And it proved, and it was great to see Harvey Barnes, who came off the bench and scored. But what was really nice to see, and I don't know if the cameras have picked it up, but a lot of the players, 4 or 5 of them, ran to Nick Pope, and it was lush to see. It was just unity. And obviously, congratulations to him, because he's now in the leadership group as well. That was announced today. So it was just a lovely moment. And then the corner, the Gallagher corner, was singing, and it was just a nice moment that they were singing for Nick Pope, because when he's got dodgy feet, when now that, but just a nice moment. And then they sang for Harvey Barnes literally straight after. And again, he seems to be an impact player, and it's a good problem for Eddie Howe, because when Harvey Barnes is on it, he needs to play. So he's caused Eddie Howe a real problem tonight with 2 goals. 2-0, and it was just chance after chance after chance. And yes, there was a couple more subs, and I think Willett came on towards the end. It was just chance after chance, and then Anthony Gordon was obviously subbed off. But just before he was subbed off, he got the assist for Harvey Barnes for another one, and Gordon's on the left, and he's cutting in, and he plays in Harvey Barnes. Barnes is through. Great finish, 3-0, and Newcastle, you could go on and get 4, maybe 5, but it ended 3-0. But that second half was absolutely sensational. It was a shadow of what Brighton was, and Brighton was a long drive for a lot of people, a lot of time on coaches for a lot of people as well. It was brilliant. It was absolutely sensational. 3-0, and we'll look at the Champions League table in just a moment, but nothing more yapping. Let's hear from the gaffer, Eddie Howe.
Yeah, good performance. I thought, it's even first half, really. I thought we created some good chances. Had to be patient for that first goal. When it came, I thought thought we scored 3 great goals today, actually. Thought we looked a constant threat in the game. But we had some moments where we had to defend well, and they were a threat from their set plays as well. So delighted with the win. It's a massive result. Yeah, I thought both our wingers that started the game did really, really well. Great to see them combine for the first goal. That's a really pleasing sight. But yeah, Anthony played very direct. I thought athletically he was excellent, because he put a real big effort in both on and off the ball. So yeah, good night for him. Yeah, I think it is that kind of game that we have to take forward into our next few games that we've got coming up.
Thank you very much, Sir Edward. Shall we call him Sir? Let's not get carried away. Now, Champions League standings, we'll talk about it. Obviously, Newcastle have picked up 2 wins from 3. That's a great start, and considering we've played Barcelona in that as well. Benfica, on the other hand, are struggling with 3 losses on the spin. And remember how the Champions League format works is the top 8 automatically go through. The next 16 will play against each other, and 8 will go through, making a last 16. So it'll be like a playoff round if you finish anywhere after 8th, all the way down to 24. The bottom 8 drop out automatically. So it's a fantastic start for Newcastle. And obviously you've got Marseille. I think it's Marseille next away. And we're waiting to see what happens with the tickets down there, because there's a bit of a situation going on down at Marseille with away fans, but hopefully Newcastle fans are allowed there. So fantastic. And let's talk about some individual performances in the team in a minute, because I have to start with Anthony Gordon. And I've talked about the match reaction. There's been spells where it's slowly coming together. Obviously, he's got the goal against Barca, he got the 2 penalties at Union. He went away in England, international duty, scored a great goal there, and he's come back, and that's his best performance in a long while. He is by far the man of the match. By far. He's a 9 or a 10. A high 9, a 10. Do you know what? He's a 10. He's a 10, and everything he's done, he was taking ownership and the mantle, and the defenders were absolutely there. Right back was shit scared of him. He was cutting in, he was going out, he was clipping balls in, he was working backwards, and at times he was a left back, a left wing back, and he was just mint. It was just a breathtaking performance, and Thomas Tuchel will look at that and think, wow, that's why you're in the England squad. But I want to see more of it. I want to see more consistency from him, because that was mint. that was just class. And yes, Harvey Barnes, as I say, got a double, and it's a good problem because for me, when Harvey Barnes is on it, he has to play. When he's off it, he needs to come out the side. And some people might say, "Oh, that's funny. That is very funny." Just start the engine and set a car alarm off next to it. That's hilarious. Hey. Naughty, naughty, naughty. That is funny. That is very funny. It's one of the stewards taking one of the players' cars back into the stadium. Oh, there we go. It stopped. That was funny. Where was it? Harvey Barnes. So people might say, but he's an impact player. I agree to some extent of that. But when a player's on form, he deserves that chance to start. So question for you at home. Does Harvey Barnes deserve to start against Fulham on that right wing? I know he's not the strongest on the right wing because he kind of dropped Gordon. Murphy, on the other hand, I thought Murphy was much more of an outlet than what Alanga's been producing. Obviously, Murphy had a couple of chances himself, a couple of crosses, and really, realistically, against Brighton, Murphy was the only one that was an outlet, to be honest with you. So I thought he was all right. He'd done well in it. Other players stepped up, and that's important. I thought Bruno's second half was mint as well. I thought he was class. He was absolutely mint second half, Bruno. And I thought he would have wanted to do well in it, considering he speaks their language and he knows a lot of their Brazilians. So, and obviously Joe Linton would have wanted to start, but obviously he's been with a niggle and it's a good time to rotate, I think. And I think fair play Eddie Howe, he's got to spot on everything they need. It was important, as I say, to get that second goal, because I think if they equalise, it could have been a different second half. And the back line, yeah, it's fantastic. That partnership with Botman, with Chow, is working really well. I know Dan Burn has his criticism, but the amount of clean sheets that back line has kept, and Nick Pope as well, it's a positive need for the two, and we've got to enjoy these moments. And it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There was something else I was going to mention, but my mind's went totally blank. But I forgot what it was now. But a fantastic 3 points for Newcastle in the Champions League, and it's a good feel factor. But as I say, the consistency now, there's a team performance was brilliant second half. I was a little bit worried with Benfica's chances, but clean sheet as I mentioned. But we've now got to take it on to Fulham. We've now got to show that, if we want to be a big boy and we want to play in the Champions League every week, we've got to start picking up points. We've got to start winning the likes of Bournemouth and Brighton away. That has to start happening next season. But if you want Champions League football again, you've got to beat Fulham the weekend. Eddie Howe will know that. I didn't even remind him. But we need consistency now. We need to start climbing that Premier League table now. Champions League was great and the neat class. But now, obviously, football moves fast. We're now focused on Fulham. We need a win in the Premier League. We can't be sitting around mid-table. We need to start picking up a bit of momentum, and players that are on form, play them. And hopefully, Johan Vissa isn't too far out with return as well. I think it's going to be another couple of weeks. But great to see Ramsey get a start as well. I thought he was bright in spells as well. I think he probably just needs a run of games. But it's difficult with that midfield three, because Tonali's probably going to come in on the weekend, and Miley did okay as well. And looks like Joe Willock's sixth choice at the minute. So there's some problems in the moment for Eddie Howe, some good problems for selection across the pitch, and hopefully Vissa proves that he's worth the money that we've paid, because there's a lot of money. Get him back, and we need the likes of the two full backs back as well, Lewis Hall and Livramento. So Lewis Hall's one's not too serious, but I'm rambling because I just want to talk with football. I just want to talk all the time. But do check out our match reaction, do check out a little vlog that I put together, and of course the last word as well. If you listen on the audio, go over to our YouTube channel, because this does get put into a podcast too. And Josh did a live as well, so big shout out to Josh as well, speaking to fans about the performance of the Neats. But yeah, we'll love yous and leave yous from St James's Park. Drop us a massive like on the video, that'll do wonders for me. That means a lot for me personally, for just doing all the videos, put the graft in. And this is filmed in 4K, which is a mammoth file. You can see I'm talking all the time now. I'll shut up now. Right, we'll see you very soon on Newcastle Fans TV. Ta-da.